There's times I felt like giving up. Everybody has a crossroad. If you haven't been at it, it's coming. You can either decide to continue or to quit. You're gonna always have that decision. See, I was so sick of being poor. My motivation was I was just exhausted from poverty. I was sick of living in my car. I was sick of not having money. And see, that's what people do. People quit when it's at their hardest moment. Somebody sent me a plaque one time that said, if you're going through hell, why stop there? Move, keep going. And I just could not see myself not being successful. Can I tell you something? If you really want to be successful, you gotta have a lot of dog in you. Because life ain't fair. Life is hard, man. It is not fair. But life ain't fair to nobody. You just gotta fight through, man. You gotta bite back sometime. People's opinion of you is none of your business. I have lots of haters, but who are they though? They don't even know me. So I don't give them no energy. I just keep going through. But then I tell you something too, haters motivate me. Because when they talking about me, that means I'm doing something. If you don't have any haters, you need to get some. Because if you have no haters, you ain't doing nothing, man. So one last piece to that. If you give up, you know exactly what's going to happen. Nothing. The reason God wakes you up in the morning is because he still has something for you. So as long as I wake up, I just look for it. I say, okay, God, what is it today? It might be a challenge or it might be to win. But either way, I'm going to wake up tomorrow. And if I wake up tomorrow, that's a good sign that he ain't through with me yet.
If you're going to fulfill your destiny, you have to have a made-up mind that no matter what comes against you, you are not going to stay down. You're going to keep pressing forward, looking for your next victory. And in life, there's always something coming against us. Too many people just give up and think, well, it just wasn't meant to be. You have to have a backbone made of steel. You have to have a warrior mentality. When you have your mind made up that you're going to outlast anything that comes against you, all the forces of darkness cannot keep you from your God-given destiny. God did not create us to give up when it gets hard. You have victory in your DNA. The right spirit is to say, yes, I'm having some big challenges, but I know I serve a big God. I know I've been armed with strength for every battle. But some of you today, you've allowed your circumstances to push you down. But I'm asking you to dig your heels in and say, no, I will not give up on my dreams. I'm going to become everything God's created me to be, and I'm going to have everything God intended for me to have. Nothing that has happened to you can keep you from your God-given destiny. And if you will shake off the self-pity, then God will not only bring you out, but he's promised he will bring you out better off than you were before. There may be some bumps along the way. Every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. God will turn every battlefield into a blessing field. Look that obstacle in the eye and say, you have met your match with me. I will not quit. I will not start complaining. My report is this too shall pass. Anybody can quit, but it takes a man or woman of great faith to say, it looks like my dreams have died, but I am not moved by what I see. I'm moved by what I know. I know I would not have breath to breathe if God didn't have another victory in my future.
You can decide that you're going to stand up to life. You'll get knocked down, but you won't be knocked out. You have the power to make that decision. I'm going to empower me. And all of these things that are happening to me right now, they're just temporary inconveniences. They're not stronger than I am. Understanding and knowing that we can move from where we are. Knowing that as we begin to explore new horizons, as we begin to elevate ourselves and not to follow the crowd, It's not easy, but through practice and practice and practice, practice makes what? Absolutely not. Practice makes improvement. You can always go beyond anything that you have ever done. You're always bigger than what you do.
When we face challenges and have things that come against us, it's easy to start dreading it, thinking, how am I going to make it through this treatment? How can I accomplish this dream? And yes, there are seasons where we have to endure, but there are also times that God will step in and make it easier than it looks. The scripture says He goes before us and makes the crooked places straight. What looks complicated, suddenly things fall into place. You don't have the connections, but out of nowhere, someone steps in and shows you favor. Now, you may be in situations now that you're tempted to dread. You've already decided it's going to be hard. God is saying it's going to be easier than you think. There's going to be a supernatural grace. He's working behind the scenes, making rough places smooth. Now you have to get in agreement with God. You're drawing in what you're thinking about. If you're telling yourself you can't pass the course, I'll never make it through this sickness, you're defeating yourself. You don't have to do everything in your own strength, your own ability. The Most High God is going before you. He's arranging the good breaks, the favor, the promotion. You may go through seasons of struggle, no growth, no improvement. Thoughts will tell you this will always be difficult. But if you'll stay in faith, you're going to come into these moments of favor where suddenly things fall into place. Suddenly your business takes off. Suddenly your health turns around. God is going to make things happen that you couldn't make happen. You think you're going to have to work for it, earn it, endure, outlast. No, it's going to be easier than you think. God has already gone before you. Quit dreading it. Quit losing sleep over it. I wonder if you're dreading things that later on you're going to realize God has already worked it out. He's worked out what's stressing you. He's worked out the problem at the office. Looks like it's going to be a big ordeal. You're going to discover the rough places have already been made smooth. You may have situations that seem much bigger. Trouble at work, legal problem. The odds are against you. It's not going to be what it looks like. You're going to see favor, freedom, things that you couldn't make happen. It's the hand of God. You're not going to deal with that depression forever, easily conquer. That struggle and lack is not your destiny. You will easily conquer it. One touch of God's favor and suddenly things turn around. Suddenly addictions are broken. Suddenly doors open. You see increase, abundance. Many times God will ask you to do things that seem beyond your own ability. He'll put dreams in your heart that seem too big. If we look at it only in our ability, then we'll talk ourselves out of it. It looks difficult. You don't see how it can happen, but if you'll take steps of faith, you'll discover God has already gone before you. I'm not saying there won't be obstacles, people trying to stop you, but God is not going to leave you there. There would be these moments of favor where God makes things happen that you couldn't make happen. If you play it safe and think, I can't do it, Joel, the dream too great, the opposition too strong, then it will be too hard. If you don't take the risk, you'll never see how God was going to step in and make it easier than you thought. God is looking for some people who won't get talked out of their dreams. People that are not moved by how big the challenge is. The reason God's asking you to do something that's beyond your ability is He's about to show you His favor like you've never seen. He's going to cause things to fall into place. It's going to be easier than you think. Listen, if you're going to reach your destiny, if you're going to go places no one in your family has gone, you have to have a boldness. You can't be weak. You have to ask big. Believe big. I've heard it said, what God orders, He pays for. You may not see how you could ever have the funds, how you could start the business, move into a nicer neighborhood. But when you look at what you have, your resources, there's no way. The good news is, it's not just up to you. God has people that will fund what He promised. He controls the universe. He knows how to get to you what you need.